Hello, welcome to the Healing Secrets of Food Revealed. Today's topic, the weight loss power of mindfulness eating. I'm Deborah Keston, nutrition researcher and host of the Healing Secrets of Food Revealed, and I'm on a mission to give you the science-backed weight loss wisdom you need to eat less and weigh less without dieting. In each episode, I'll translate cutting-edge weight loss research into actions you can take that can make a real difference in your weight and well-being. Let's get started. Most of us are familiar with the idea of mindfulness, a meditation teaching that's been an essential element of Buddhism and Hinduism for thousands of years. So, why do we know about this ancient technique today? Because since the 1970s, the practice of mindfulness-based meditation has burgeoned in the West. In large part, this is because spiritual and scientific luminaries have given the ancient practice of mindfulness much scientific legitimacy. A sampling. Number one, Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh, is his name familiar to many of you? Brought mindfulness to the West with his books and meditation centers. Number two, researcher and physician Herbert Benson introduced the healing power of mindfulness meditation with his groundbreaking classic book, The Relaxation Response. And number three, in 1979, American professor Jon Kabat-Zinn created the Center for Mindfulness in Medicine, Healthcare, and Society at the University of Massachusetts Medical School. Here's a quote about mindfulness by Jon Kabat-Zinn that I find inspiring. He said, "The best way to capture moments is to pay attention. This is how we cultivate mindfulness. Mindfulness means being awake. It means knowing what you are doing." Today, we're going to apply the ideas of paying attention and knowing what you're doing to the health benefits of mindfulness eating. But now I want to highlight that because of the life's work by Jon Kabat-Zinn and these other pioneers, the merger of mindfulness with science and health has been around for about 50 years. And during this time, scores of scientific studies have linked mindfulness with better physical and mental health. For instance, physically, mindfulness has been linked to healthy aging and weight management, a stronger immune system, lower blood pressure, less inflammation, which is linked to development of many chronic conditions, and more. And clinical psychology and psychiatry have also developed mindfulness-based therapies to help people reduce mental health conditions such as depression, stress, and anxiety. For centuries, several different types of mindfulness and of meditation have evolved. In this episode, the Healing Secrets of Food podcast, I'm going to focus on the special type of meditation called mindfulness eating. You'll discover studies that link mindfulness eating with weight loss and well-being, and will uncover the weight loss power of mindfulness eating when you apply it to the 7 pillars of my science-backed Whole Person Integrative Eating program, which I tell you about in detail in episode 2 of the Healing Secrets of Food podcast. I'm taking your time to give you more perspective about mindfulness because I think you'll benefit a lot more from today's discussion on mindfulness eating if you have an in-depth understanding of where it fits into the world of mindfulness and state-of-the-art scientific studies, which include my Whole Person Integrative Eating program for eating less and weighing less, but also scores of other studies. I also want you to know that right now, today, I'm doing something a bit unusual. I'm continuing the discussion about mindfulness eating and its link to weight loss by first telling you about an eating behavior that is the opposite of mindfulness eating. This is an overeating style I call task snacking. To give you context, behavioral scientist and my husband, Larry Scherwitz, who's also the co-founder of Whole Person Integrative Eating, and I identified 7 styles of eating that lead to overeating and overweight. Our discovery of the overeating styles matters a lot to you and your weight because in the world of science, each is statistically significant and is a dependable predictor of overeating. Task snacking is the overeating style that is typical for many Americans, and it is a new normal eating behavior, way of eating that one is the opposite of mindfulness eating that we're talking about today, and it also leads to overeating and weight gain, which leads to the question, are you a task snacker? Some call it multitasking. The French call it vagabond eating. In America, it's a growing trend. Whatever form it takes, eating a meal or snacking mindlessly while working in front of your computer or driving or watching TV, shopping with a friend, or talking on the phone, the task snacking overeating style Larry's and my research uncovered puts you at risk for overeating and becoming overweight. Have you ever meandered down the street while munching? If so, you're task snacking. Do you watch TV, work at your computer, or drive while eating? These are more task snacking behaviors. As a matter of fact, doing other things while eating is so common in our culture, it's become normal. Not only do most of us not pay much attention to where we're eating and what we're doing while we're eating, we also don't believe these two factors have anything to do with our weight, but they do. As a matter of fact, task snacking is a double weight whammy. How might task snacking work against both your waistline and the way in which food is metabolized when you eat while working, munching while watching TV, or snacking while driving? In other words, how is eating in a not too conscious, not too mindful way a recipe for weight gain? Here are 2 examples. Impairs digestion. Because the brain can attend to only one topic at a time, when you do multitask simultaneously, it constantly shifts its attention. If you were to undergo a PET scan, a positive emission tomography, a powerful non-invasive imaging technique that accurately measures the cellular function of the human body, while task snacking, it would show lights blinking on and off in areas of the brain associated with various tasks you're undertaking. Here's what neuroscientist Candace Pert has to tell us about the link between eating while mentally or physically distracted, your digestive system, and weight. She writes in her book, Molecules of Emotion, quote, "The environment in which you eat has a lot to do with your emotional experience at mealtime. Eating while doing other things can cause, quote, a mind-body split that will lead to weight gain and disease conditions caused by incomplete digestion," she says. Number 2, in addition to impaired digestion, task snacking is a recipe for weight gain in yet another way. When the mind isn't paying full attention to the sensation of food, such as its taste, scent, texture, and presentation, then eating itself becomes less satisfying. Put another way, eating while doing other things makes it harder for your mind to register that you are indeed eating. In response, you may compensate for getting less pleasure or gratification from food by continuing to eat more and more. In other words, what I'm saying is you get a double whammy when you eat while multitasking. 1, not only are you more likely to overeat because you're not really tasting, enjoying your food, and in turn allowing your mind-body to get the message that you're satisfied, you're also increasing the odds of overeating because, number 2, When you eat while doing other things, you're impairing the digestive process and how well your body absorbs vitamins and minerals. When this happens, you may experience food cravings that are really a signal you're missing some nutrients in your diet. In this way, task snacking can create a vicious cycle of poor digestion, inadequate nutrition, and overeating to try to get the vitamins and minerals you're not metabolizing. The bottom line, mindless task snacking is likely to lead to eating more, enjoying it less, and weight gain. What's a task snacker to do? Discover the weight loss power of mindfulness eating, which is one of the foundations of Whole Person Integrative Eating. I want to tell you about a study that turned around both diabetes and weight gain with the mindfulness eating family of Whole Person Integrative Eating principles that Larry and I discovered. Researchers and naturopathic doctors Erica Oberg and Ryan Bradley posed this question in a study they did with patients with type 2 diabetics. Would replacing the overeating styles, including task snacking that Larry and I identified, with the 7 mindfulness eating principles of Whole Person Integrative Eating, fresh, whole food, positive emotions, mindfulness, gratitude, loving regard, and social connection, influenced not only what patients with type 2 diabetes ate and how much they ate, but also their weight and blood sugar levels. To find out, Dr. Oberg taught 10 people with type 2 diabetes Larry's and my Whole Person Integrative Eating program, which included their taking our What's Your Overeating Style self-assessment quiz. What Oberg and Bradley found was this. They made the unusual, unexpected discovery that improvements in the emotional eating, overeating style especially, but also the other behavioral overeating styles of Whole Person Integrative Eating. This includes task snacking, of course, and also food fretting, sensory disregard, unappetizing atmosphere, and solo dining. The behavioral overeating styles, the change in eating behaviors, not just what they eat, were stronger indicators of lower blood sugar levels than what study participants ate. And as with the study Larry and I did with more than 5,200 people, Dr. Oberg's research participants also lost weight as a natural side effect of replacing their overeating styles with their antidotes, the 7 pillars of Whole Person Integrative Eating. In other words, as research participants used mindfulness eating skills that comprise the 7 pillars of Whole Person Integrative Eating to replace all 7 overeating styles, blood sugar levels decreased. And surprisingly and unexpectedly, macronutrient content such as carbohydrate, protein, and fat intake had a lesser influence on blood sugar levels than improving overeating style behaviors such as emotional eating and task snacking. Such findings prompted co-investigator Dr. Ryan Bradley to state, how you eat appears to be as important, if not more important, than what you eat. Dr. Oberg's study suggests that our Whole Person Integrative Eating model and program is a viable intervention for better health outcomes, in this case for people with diabetes. At the same time, it has this powerful implication. Overcoming all the overeating styles with mindfulness eating skills based on Whole Person Integrative Eating may bring better health outcomes than focusing on just one overeating style, which, may I say, typically focuses on how much and what a person eats. I want to add a caveat here and not exaggerate the findings of this study. While the findings are provocative, they are also tentative and need to be interpreted cautiously. Why? Because Dr. Oberg's study is provocative because it raises the possibility that how you eat could be just as important to your health as what you eat. But at this point, we need to interpret these results tentatively because they're correlational, not cause and effect, and also because the sample size is small, and this means the findings don't necessarily apply to all of us. Before we continue, I want you to know that in the wrap-up at the end of today's episode of the Healing Secrets of Food podcast, I'll tell you about how to access the free audio of the Whole Person Integrative Eating mindfulness meal meditation I created. I made the WPIE guided meal meditation so you can experience and put into action a way of eating that can replace the overeating styles Larry and I identified with the pillars of Whole Person Integrative Eating, which our research revealed leads to eating less and weighing less, and wow, based on Dr. Oberg's study, it may even lower blood sugar levels. Here's the question: does mindfulness manage weight? Here are other studies that address this question. What do mindfulness and meditation have to do with task snacking, eating, and your weight? A lot. In Larry's and my research on the 7 overeating styles, the more our study participants reduced their task snacking, the more they reduced their weight. This suggests that you eat less when you focus on your food and the process of eating than when you are mindlessly task snacking. Though the field is in its infancy, other researchers wondering if mindfulness can manage weight have posed this question: can a meditative sensibility make a difference to your weight and well-being? And if so, in what way? Here, 3 studies that delve into the ancient discipline of mindfulness meditation to explore its effect on metabolism and its potential to manage eating disorders, weight, and more. Study number 1 is about the metabolism of mindfulness. To find out whether paying attention to food when you eat affects how the body metabolizes it in a positive, beneficial way, researcher Dr. Donald Morse, a physician and professor emeritus at Temple University in Philadelphia, designed a unique study to assess whether eating mindfully versus eating while distracted or stressed, task snacking, makes a difference to metabolism. He designed his experiment this way. One group of female college students would meditate 5 minutes before eating a cereal, which is a food high in carbohydrates, while another group would distract themselves with mental arithmetic before eating the cereal, which is a form of task snacking. Afterward, when Dr. Morse and his team measured both groups' saliva, which is where metabolism of food begins in your mouth, he discovered that those who meditated mindfully before eating produced 22% more of the digestive enzyme alpha amylase. Morse's study has 2 significant implications for task snackers. First, because alpha amylase helps you digest and metabolize carbohydrates and carbohydrate-dense foods, such as potatoes, bread, and cereal, as well as B vitamins, of which there are 8. If you eat while task snacking, you're likely to absorb fewer nutrients than you need for your mind-body to function optimally. And, speculates Dr. Morse, the study also, quote, shows that there's a real benefit to having a leisurely meal. The decrease in alpha amylase production is just the tip of the iceberg, he says. Quote, when you gulp down your food, your entire digestive system is affected. Study number 2 is about less binge eating with mindfulness meditation. In the 1980s, Jean Christeller of Indiana State University developed her mindfulness-based eating awareness training. a comprehensive 9-week program that includes meditation to address hunger and satiety and connecting to the inner wisdom that signals whether you're full or satisfied or hungry with an appetite for a particular food. MBEAT, her program, focuses on finding satisfaction in quality, not quantity. To find out whether her program could help women with eating and weight problems, Dr. Christella recruited 18 obese women, ages 25 to 62. Each met the criteria of the American Psychiatric Association's Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders for binge eating disorder, defined as recurrent episodes of out-of-control eating twice a week or more for 6 months or longer, with a focus on 3 forms of meditation: 1, general mindfulness meditation; 2, eating meditation; and 3, mini meditations. Homework included daily meditation to develop focused attention, mindful eating exercises, and more. At the end of the 6th week, Dr. Christella concluded that the program was indeed beneficial. 3 weeks prior to starting the intervention, most women binged an average of 5 times each week. After 3 weeks of learning and practicing mindfulness meditation in preparation for the study, the women lowered their average number of binging episodes to just under 4. And when the 6-week program ended, the average number of binges was less than 1.9 per week. Just as encouraging, when Dr. Christella did a 3-week follow-up, she discovered the women were still benefiting, with binging episodes remaining less than twice weekly. In other words, binging behavior continued after the study, but there were far fewer episodes than when the study had started. Significantly, emotions that often sparked a binging episode, such as depression and anxiety, also decreased. Study number 3 is about weight loss linked with meditation. A first-of-its-kind study that sheds light on the meditation weight equation was conducted by researchers at Dr. Dean Ornish's Preventive Medicine Research Institute, PMRI, in Sausalito, California. The study, rooted in work Dr. Ornish did throughout the 1980s and 1990s, put meditation on the map by including it as part of the comprehensive Dr. Dean Ornish lifestyle medicine program to reverse heart disease through lifestyle changes alone. Dr. Ornish's lifestyle medicine program includes stress management, which in his case is meditation and yoga, a no-fat added plant-based diet, exercise, and social support. Following the publication of Dr. Ornish's heart disease reversal research, many health professionals contacted him wanting to know which components of the program contributed the most to reversing heart disease. Was it the low-fat diet, meditation and yoga for stress management? Perhaps it was the exercise, or could it be the group support? Or was it the combination of all the components working synergistically that brought the benefits? Dr. Ornish and his research team decided to find out. Patients and their spouses met in groups twice weekly for 3 months for a total of 104 hours to learn about the low-fat diet, exercise, social support, and stress management techniques, which included yoga sessions that ended with about 10 minutes of meditation. During their time apart, participants were asked to practice stress management for 1 hour per day, with the option of doing this by listening to meditation tapes. For task snackers, what's the most relevant about the Ornish meditation study? Here are 3 key findings. First, it revealed that the amount of time each person spent meditating was directly linked with the amount of weight loss, regardless of whether participants changed their dietary fat intake or their exercise habits. In fact, Those who did not change their dietary fat intake but increased their stress management practice by as much as 6 hours per week were the ones who lost an average of almost 20 pounds for men and more than 12 pounds for women. Second and most pertinent, the greatest weight loss was achieved by those who, one, increased their yoga and meditation while they decreased their dietary intake of dietary fat. Number 3, the third key finding goes against all conventional energy in food, energy out exercise guidelines. An increase in exercise did not contribute any further to the amount of weight lost. Rather, it was the amount of time participants meditated and the degree to which they lowered their dietary fat intake that brought the best results. To learn more about the results of this innovative study firsthand, I talked with medical psychologist Gertie Weider, former vice president and director of research at PMRI. Here's what she told me, quote, "In our analysis," she said, "increases in stress management and meditation contributed not only to weight loss, but also to reductions in diabetic risk and hostile feelings, which is a risk factor for heart disease." And she continued, less dietary fat intake added further to weight loss and to reductions in perceived stress. Add exercise, she said, to the equation, and your ability to burn energy increases. The bottom line, Dr. Widener is saying that practicing stress management meditation, mindfulness meditation, and other components of the Ornish Lifestyle Reversal Program is the key to achieving beneficial health outcomes, including weight loss. I want to bring your attention to the fact that this is similar to the antidotes to the overeating styles Larry and I discovered, meaning our research revealed that when you apply mindfulness eating as the antidote to the task snacking overeating style, but also to the 6 other overeating styles we identified, you're more likely to eat less and weigh less without dieting. So you can reap the rewards of what you discover each episode of the Healing Secrets of Food Revealed. I close each episode with an in-action idea for you to try. This may be a quick tip about how to implement the healing secret of food we just discussed, or a practical step you can take, such as ordering a size down of your favorite coffee concoction, or perhaps I'll suggest a self-insight exercise, an internal reflection that can lead you closer to achieving your food-related health goals. I'll offer an in-action exercise at the end of each episode that can contribute to your transformation from today's new normal way of eating, which leads to overeating and overweight, to whole person integrative eating, which I describe as your scientifically sound personal guide to eating less and weighing less without dieting. Consider keeping a Healing Secrets of Food Revealed journal to write about your experience with each in-action exercise. Here's today's in-action quick tip. Perspective. Cultivating mindfulness, paying attention intentionally, empowers you to slow down long enough to experience the subtleties and health-enhancing benefits of food. It means not task snacking. Simply put, you're in the moment and are eating when you're eating. This is mindfulness eating, and it's a lifetime practice. Here is the Whole Person Integrative Eating antidote to the task snacking overeating style. It is the WPIE guideline for cultivating mindfulness each time you eat. Bring moment-to-moment, non-judgmental awareness to every aspect of the meal. Here's a get-started tip. Simply put, the goal of mindfulness eating is to eat when you eat. In other words, focus on all aspects of the eating experience itself, from start to finish, even the cleaning up. When you take time to contemplate food, even for a few seconds before, during, and just after eating, you're taking another step away from task snacking and eating less and weighing less. To get started, try this mindfulness eating tip at your next meal. Savor flavor. The next time you eat a meal, make it with varied ingredients, such as a salad, a mixed salad, or a stew. Bring your attention to your mouth. Then, as you chew, identify the flavors in your food. Is it mostly sweet, or is it salt, or is it mostly another spicy flavor that you're tasting? Did you experience a burst of flavor at the first bite? Are you still enjoying the taste of the food after the second and third bites? Here's a brief heads up for you. So you can reap the rewards of mindfulness eating. In next week's episode of The Healing Secrets of Food Revealed, I'll discuss the full step-by-step whole person integrative eating mindfulness eating meditation, and this will include a free audio I created for you that you can use and listen to each time you eat. If you would like a summary of today's in-action exercise and the link to listen to the free video of the WPIE guided meal meditation, please visit healingsecretspodcast.com. Then, again, look for the yellow light bulb next to the in-action CTA. At healingsecretspodcast.com, you can also listen to this episode again, read the transcript, and please consider joining the Healing Secrets podcast community, where I'm looking forward to meeting you. I want to thank you for joining me today on the Healing Secrets of Food Revealed. With each show, I'll share step-by-step science-backed insights you need to nourish all of you, body, mind, soul, and social well-being, each time you eat, so you can thrive. I'm Deborah Keston, host of The Healing Secrets of Food Revealed. Until next week, be nourished.